Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the ESS Hawking, watching the nebula's swirling colors paint shadows across the bridge. After 15 years of deep space exploration, she thought she'd seen everything the universe could throw at her. She was wrong. "Commander," Lieutenant Raj Patel's voice cut through her contemplation. "The quantum array is picking up something unusual." His dark eyes were fixed on the holographic display, fingers dancing across the interface with practiced precision. "Define unusual, Lieutenant." Chen moved to his station, noting how the typically steady quantum readings were performing an impossible dance across his screens. Raj paused, recalibrating the sensors. "It's like someone took advanced quantum mechanics and turned it into music. There's a pattern here that shouldn't exist naturally, but it's not like any artificial signal we've encountered either." Dr. Maya Williams, the ship's theoretical physicist, was already pulling up comparative analyses. "These sequences, they're solving impossible mathematical problems. Look at this." She highlighted a section of the data stream. "This part here. It's providing a proof for the Riemann hypothesis, but that's just the foundation. It builds on that to demonstrate mathematical concepts we haven't even theorized yet." Chen felt the weight of command settling onto her shoulders. First contact protocol was clear: observe, record, and report to Earth Command. Do not engage without authorization. But there was something else in the signal, something that made her skin prickle with unease. "There's more," Maya said quietly. "Beneath the mathematics, there's another layer. She swallowed hard. "It's crying." "Crying." Chen leaned closer to the display. "Explain." "The quantum fluctuations, they're not random. They're repeating in patterns that mirror distress signals, not just any distress signals, but ones that invoke concepts of pain, fear, and desperation across multiple mathematical dimensions. Whatever sent this, they're not just showing us they're intelligent. They're begging for help." The bridge fell silent except for the soft hum of equipment. Chen studied the data scrolling across the screens. Earth Command would want them to retreat, to analyze the signal from a safe distance. After the Proxima incident, where an entire colony fleet disappeared investigating a similar anomaly, the regulations were absolute. "Dr. Williams, what's your assessment? Could this be a trap?" Maya shook her head. "A trap wouldn't need to be this complex. These proofs, they're not just showing off technology. They're sharing fundamental insights about the nature of reality itself. It would be like a hunter baiting a trap with actual secrets of the universe." "Location?" Chen asked. "Edge of the Carina Void," Raj reported. "About 3 weeks at maximum sustainable FTL." "But," he hesitated, "the path there crosses through some nasty space. Gravity wells, radiation fields, and at least 2 areas of quantum instability." Chen walked back to the viewport, considering. The signal pulsed on their screens, its mathematical cry for help continuing its journey across the stars. She thought about her career, about the regulations, about everything humanity had learned since reaching for the stars. She thought about what it meant to be human. "Mr. Patel, plot a course to the signal's origin." "Dr. Williams, I want everything you can tell me about those mathematical proofs. And someone wake up our engineering team. They're going to need to modify our shields for the journey." "Commander," Raj said carefully, "Earth Command will never authorize this." Chen's reflection in the viewport smiled grimly. "Then it's fortunate we're experiencing some unusual quantum interference with our long-range communications, isn't it? It could take days for their response to reach us." She turned to face her crew, seeing the mixture of fear and determination in their eyes. "Humanity didn't reach the stars by playing it safe. We got here by helping others, by taking risks when the cause was right. If something out there is advanced enough to teach us new mathematics while asking for our help," she straightened her uniform, "well, I'd say that makes them worth the risk." "And if it is a trap?" Raj asked. "Then we'll do what humans do best," Chen replied. "We'll improvise, adapt, and overcome. Set course, Lieutenant. Let's go see who's crying in the dark." As the ESS Hawking's engines hummed to life, the signal continued its mathematical song, its cry for help echoing across the vast emptiness of space. Humanity's response was on its way, not with overwhelming force or advanced technology, but with something far more powerful: compassion, curiosity, and the unshakable determination to help those in need, no matter the cost. The ESS Hawking shuddered as another quantum shear wave slammed into its hull. In engineering, Chief Gloria Martinez watched the shield harmonics fluctuate dangerously close to critical levels. Rerouting power from non-essential systems, she announced over the comm, her hands moving across 3 control panels simultaneously. But these waves are getting stronger. The shield modifications are barely keeping up. On the bridge, Commander Chen gripped her chair as the ship lurched again. Through the viewport, space itself seemed to ripple and twist, the laws of physics breaking down in the quantum instability zone they were traversing. "Status of the signal," she called out. Maya's voice was tight with concentration. "Still there, but it's changing. The mathematical proofs are growing more complex, almost desperate. And the distress patterns." She paused, adjusting her readings. "They're getting worse. Time is running out," Raj added from his station. "But we've got bigger problems. That gravity well ahead of us. It's not natural. Something's generating it." Chen studied the sensor readings. The anomaly blocked their path completely. A swirling vortex of gravitational forces that would tear the ship apart if they tried to push through. But going around would add weeks to their journey. "Chief Martinez," Chen called down to engineering, "I need options." Gloria's laugh carried a hint of that familiar engineering madness that had saved countless ships before. "Funny you should ask, Commander. Been looking at those mathematical proofs Dr. Williams has been analyzing. There's something in there about quantum field manipulation that gave me an idea." "I'm listening." "These beings, whatever they are, they've figured out how to manipulate quantum fields at a fundamental level. Some of their proofs suggest ways to surf quantum waves. If we modify our shield harmonics to match the frequency patterns in their signal, we could ride the quantum shear waves themselves," Maya finished, excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. "Use the instability to our advantage." The odds of successfully calibrating the shields to that level of precision, Raj began. "Never tell me the odds, Lieutenant," Gloria interrupted. "Just tell me if you can plot a course that uses those waves to slingshot us around that gravity well." Raj's fingers flew over his console as he ran the calculations. "Maybe. If we time it perfectly and hit the waves at exactly the right angle." He looked up at Chen. "But one miscalculation, and we'll be scattered across 3 dimensions." Chen stood, walking to the main display where the gravity well loomed before them. The signal pulsed in the background, its mathematical cry growing more urgent with each passing moment. They'd already come farther than any rational crew would have dared. But being human had never been about being rational. "Do it," she ordered. "Chief Martinez, begin shield modifications. Dr. Williams, I want you working with engineering to translate those proofs into something we can use. Mr. Patel, plot us the craziest course you've ever calculated in your life." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, but there was something else driving them now, something uniquely human. The challenge had become personal. Each impossibility they overcame, each barrier they broke through, was a testament to humanity's greatest strength: the ability to take the impossible and make it possible through sheer determination and creativity. Hours later, as they made their final preparations, Chen addressed her crew over the ship-wide comm. "What we're about to attempt has never been done before. The physics say it shouldn't work. The regulations say we shouldn't try. But out there, something is asking for our help. And throughout human history, whenever someone has cried out in the darkness, we've answered. Not because it was safe, not because it was logical, but because it was right." She watched as Gloria's modifications transformed their shield bubble into something new, as Maya's translations of alien mathematics rewrote their understanding of quantum mechanics, as Raj's impossible course plotted their path through chaos. "This is why we're out here," Chen continued. "Not just to explore, but to prove that in a universe of wonders and horrors, humanity's greatest achievement isn't our technology or our knowledge. It's our unwavering determination to help others, no matter the cost. All stations, prepare for quantum surf. Let's show the universe what humans can do." The ESS Hawking turned to face the quantum shear waves, its modified shields humming with alien mathematics. Ahead lay either triumph or disaster, but that was nothing new for humanity. They had always danced on the edge between the possible and impossible, and they had always found a way through. As the first wave approached, Chen gave the order that would either doom them or save them. "Surf's up." The ship plunged into the quantum chaos, riding waves of probability through the impossible, carrying humanity's response to a cry for help across the stars. Behind them lay safety and regulation. Ahead lay mystery and danger. They chose to go ahead, because that's what humans do. The ESS Hawking emerged from its final quantum jump into a scene that defied comprehension. Where they expected to find a ship or a station, they instead faced a vast field of crystalline structures, each one pulsing with internal light. They hung in space like frozen fireworks, their surfaces reflecting the light of distant stars in impossible patterns. "Life signs?" Chen asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Everywhere," Maya responded, her sensors struggling to process the data. "But they're not like anything we've ever seen. The crystals themselves appear to be alive. And the mathematical patterns we've been following, they're coming from the crystals themselves." Raj adjusted the view screen, focusing on one of the larger structures. "Commander, I'm detecting movement. The crystals are changing." Before their eyes, the nearest crystalline formation began to shift, its surface flowing like liquid metal while maintaining its crystalline properties. It was reshaping itself, forming what appeared to be a communication array aimed directly at their ship. "Incoming transmission," Raj announced. "But it's not radio or quantum. It's pure mathematics." Maya's eyes widened as she studied the data. It's not just mathematics. They're translating their thoughts directly into mathematical concepts. These beings, they think in quantum equations. The bridge crew watched in awe as the mathematical language unfolded across their screens. Dr. Williams worked furiously to translate, her expression shifting from confusion to horror. "They call themselves the Lumini," she finally said. "They're a collective consciousness that evolved to exist within crystalline matrices. Their entire civilization exists as a network of shared thoughts and memories, stored and transmitted through these crystal structures. And something's hunting them," Gloria added from engineering, where she'd been analyzing the structural data. "Look at the damage patterns on those outer crystals. Something's been systematically attacking them, trying to break into their matrix." Maya nodded grimly. "The harvesters, they call them. A species that discovered that Lumini crystals could be used to create unimaginably powerful quantum computers, if you don't care that you're destroying a living consciousness in the process." Chen stood, approaching the viewport for a closer look at the crystalline beings. "How many?" "Millions of individual consciousness signatures," Maya replied. "This isn't a ship or a fleet. It's an entire civilization on the run." The mathematical signal pulsed again, more urgent this time. Maya's translation came faster now, as their computers adapted to the Lumini's quantum language. "They're saying the harvesters found them again. They'd been fleeing across the galaxy, trying to find someone, anyone, who would help them. Most advanced civilizations either feared them or tried to exploit them. They detected our quantum technology and took a chance, hoping." "Hoping what?" Chen asked, though she already knew the answer. "Hoping we'd be different," Maya finished quietly. "They saw something in our quantum signatures that they hadn't seen before. A paradox. Technology primitive enough to be harmless to them, but sophisticated enough to understand their call for help. A new alarm blared through the ship. Raj's hands flew across his console, multiple quantum distortions forming at the edge of the system. Big ones. Whatever's coming through, it's massive. The Lumini's mathematical signals became frantic, their crystalline structures pulsing with patterns that needed no translation to convey their fear. They were out of time. The harvesters had found them. Chen looked at her crew, seeing the same determination in their eyes that had carried them across impossible distances to reach this point. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing an enemy they barely understood. But they were also human, and that meant something. Dr. Williams, find a way to communicate directly with the Lumini. Chief Martinez, I want every scrap of data you can get about their crystalline structure. Maybe we can help them defend themselves. Mr. Patel, combat stations. Commander, Raj said carefully, our weapons would be useless against anything advanced enough to threaten the Lumini. Chen smiled, a plan already forming in her mind. Then we'll have to do what humans do best, improvise. The harvesters are expecting to find helpless prey. Let's show them they've stumbled into something else entirely. Humanity's unwavering determination to protect those who ask for our help. As the enemy ships began to emerge from their quantum tunnels, the ESS Hawking moved to position itself between the hunters and their prey. They were one ship against an armada, armed with nothing but human ingenuity and determination. The Lumini watched in confusion and wonder as these primitive beings prepared to face an overwhelming force on their behalf. The battle for the Lumini was about to begin, and humanity was about to demonstrate why you should never underestimate a species that had turned standing up to bullies into an art form. The harvester ships emerged from their quantum tunnels like predatory sea creatures, their hulls rippling with advanced technology that made the ESS Hawking look like a stone axe against a plasma rifle. Commander Chen counted at least 12 capital ships, each one large enough to swallow her vessel whole. Analysis, Chen demanded, her voice steady despite the odds. Their tech is incredible, Gloria reported from engineering. Quantum-locked hull plating, probability drives, weapons that could rewrite our atomic structure. But she paused, something like amusement in her voice. They're actually too advanced. Maya caught on immediately. Of course, they've optimized everything for quantum-level warfare. Their sensors, their weapons, their defenses, they're all designed to operate on a quantum scale. They're looking for threats that match their technological level. Which means, Chen smiled, they're not looking for something as primitive as us. Mr. Patel, kill all quantum systems. Switch to basic radio and traditional propulsion only. You want us to go dark? Raj asked, already implementing the order. Not dark. Old school. Dr. Williams, what's the status of your communication attempts with the Lumini? Maya gestured to a crystalline shard that Gloria had helped them integrate into a makeshift interface. We've established basic contact. Their consciousness can touch ours, in a way through mathematical concepts. They're terrified, but also fascinated. They've never seen anyone fight like this. Good. Tell them we need their help to save them. Chief Martinez, remember those old mining charges we were supposed to dispose of at the last outpost? Gloria's laugh echoed through the comm. Commander, I like the way you think. They're not quantum-based at all, just good old-fashioned fusion explosives. The harvester fleet moved forward with mechanical precision, their quantum scanners sweeping space for high-level technological threats. The ESS Hawking, running on technology centuries behind their enemies, slipped through their detection grid like a ghost. They're launching collection drones, Raj reported. Thousands of them, heading for the Lumini. Through their crystalline interface, the Lumini's mathematical language conveyed images of previous encounters. The drones would attach themselves to the crystal structures, begin a harvesting process that would shatter the consciousness within. Not this time, Chen said. Gloria, begin distributing those charges according to the pattern we discussed. Maya, ask our new friends if they can do something for us. Something uniquely human. The next few minutes were a symphony of coordinated chaos. As the harvester drones approached, the Lumini did something they had never considered before. They began to sing. Not with sound, but with mathematics, broadcasting complex quantum equations on all frequencies. The harvester's advanced sensors, designed to detect and analyze quantum phenomena, were suddenly overwhelmed with mathematical noise. "They're confused," Maya reported, reading the patterns. "Their quantum sensors are getting so much input they can't distinguish signal from noise." Now, Gloria. The mining charges, planted in a careful pattern throughout the crystal field, detonated, not with the precision of quantum weapons, but with the raw, primitive force of human engineering. The explosion sent crystalline fragments spinning through space, fragments that the Lumini, warned in advance, had carefully evacuated. The fragments acted like prisms, catching the light from the explosions and refracting it through the quantum mathematical song the Lumini were broadcasting. The result was a cascade of sensory overload that sent the harvesting drones spinning off course, their delicate quantum sensors unable to cope with the brutal simplicity of the attack. "Multiple drone collisions," Raj reported, not bothering to hide his grin. They're actually shooting each other, Commander. Their targeting systems can't distinguish friend from foe through all this chaos." Chen watched as the carefully orchestrated plan unfolded. The harvesters had expected to find helpless prey and instead found themselves facing an impossible alliance, a quantum-based crystalline civilization working in perfect harmony with humans who still occasionally used explosive mining charges. "They're falling back," Maya announced. "The quantum distortions. They're reopening their tunnels. They're retreating." Through their interface, the Lumini's mathematical expressions conveyed more than just gratitude. There was wonderment, fascination, and something else. A recognition that they had discovered something unprecedented in their long history. A species whose strength lay not in technological advancement, but in the ability to turn perceived weakness into strength. As the harvester fleet disappeared into their quantum tunnels, Chen turned to her crew. "Status. The Lumini are laughing," Maya said, surprised. "Mathematically speaking, they say they've spent eons advancing their technology, trying to defend themselves through superior complexity, and we just saved them with explosives and light shows. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways," Gloria chimed in. "Besides, any sufficiently primitive technology is indistinguishable from a headache." Chen smiled, watching the crystalline beings pulse with renewed energy. "Send a message to the Lumini. Tell them we have much to learn from each other. And tell them," she paused, looking at her crew with pride, "tell them this is just the beginning of what humanity can offer to the galaxy." The battle was won, but Chen knew this was just the start. The harvesters would return, probably with countermeasures against primitive tactics. But that was fine. Humans were good at coming up with new primitive solutions to advanced problems. It was, after all, one of their specialties. The days following the battle brought changes no one had expected. The ESS Hawking floated amid the crystalline structures of the Lumini, its hull now adorned with delicate strands of living crystal that pulsed in harmony with the ship's power systems. In the newly established interface chamber, Dr. Maya Williams sat cross-legged before a towering crystal formation, her mind connected to the Lumini collective through a breakthrough that had shocked everyone, especially the Lumini themselves. They never imagined it was possible, Maya explained to Commander Chen, her eyes reflecting the crystal's inner light. The idea of interfacing directly with an organic mind. They thought we were too chaotic, too individualistic. And yet here we are, Chen replied, watching as crystal patterns shifted in response to Maya's thoughts. How many humans have they successfully connected with now? 7. Gloria's connection is particularly strong. They say her engineering intuition translates beautifully into mathematical concepts. But, Commander, Maya hesitated. They're worried. The harvesters will return, and next time they'll be prepared for our primitive tactics. Chen nodded, having expected this. What do our new friends suggest? That's just it. They want to give us their technology. They say with their quantum engineering and our tactical creativity, we could build defenses that... No, Chen interrupted firmly. We're not ready for that level of advancement. Humanity needs to grow into such power naturally, or we risk becoming exactly what we're fighting against. The crystal matrix pulsed with new patterns, surprise, confusion, and then something like respect. Maya translated. They don't understand. They say we're refusing power that could save us all. Tell them that's exactly why we're refusing it. Chen placed her hand on the crystal surface, feeling the subtle vibrations of countless minds thinking in concert. Humanity's strength isn't in our technology. It's in our ability to face giants with slingshots and win anyway. A new pattern emerged in the crystal, one Maya had never seen before. They're laughing again. They say you sound like their equivalent of ancient philosophers, but they're also transmitting tactical data. The harvesters aren't just coming back. They're bringing their entire fleet, nearly 100 capital ships. Then we better start thinking like humans. Chen activated her comm. Gloria, how's that project coming along? Beautiful, Commander. Gloria's voice carried that manic enthusiasm that always preceded either brilliance or disaster. The Lumini helped us understand the quantum principles, but the implementation is pure human ingenuity. Want to see? In the main cargo bay, Gloria had constructed what looked like a bizarre hybrid of human and Lumini technology. Crystalline structures interfaced with jury-rigged sensor arrays and modified mining equipment. The entire assembly was centered around what appeared to be. Is that a disco ball? Chen asked incredulously. Technically, it's a multifaceted resonance reflector. Gloria grinned. But yeah, I stripped it from the recreation room. The Lumini think we're insane, but in a good way. Their mathematical models confirm it should work. Maya's eyes widened as she understood the implications. You're going to use the Lumini's quantum mathematics, filtered through human technology, to create a quantum disco inferno. Gloria finished proudly. The harvesters want to dance. Let's give them a beat they'll never forget. Through their crystal interfaces, the Lumini expressed what could only be described as mathematical bafflement. They had existed for millions of years, developed technology that bordered on godlike, and yet here were these humans, preparing to face an overwhelming force with modified mining equipment and a disco ball. We've also been teaching them about humanity, Maya added softly. Our history, our literature, our tendency to root for the underdog. They're particularly fascinated by the story of David and Goliath. Good, Chen replied, because that's exactly what we're about to become. How long until the harvester fleet arrives? 6 hours, Raj reported from his station. Long-range sensors show they're not even trying to hide their approach this time. They want us to see them coming. Chen smiled, a plan forming in her mind. Then let's give them a show they'll never forget. Maya, ask our crystalline friends if they're ready to learn another human tradition. What tradition is that, Commander? The art of the counterpunch. Chen turned to address her crew. Throughout human history, we faced enemies that were bigger, stronger, and more advanced than us. And we've won not because we were stronger, but because we were smarter, more creative, and too stubborn to know when we were supposed to lose. The Lumini crystals pulsed with new patterns, understanding, anticipation, and something that Maya realized was hope. They had spent eons running, advancing their technology, in a desperate race to survive. Now they were about to learn a very human lesson. Sometimes the best defense isn't superior technology, but the simple refusal to be defeated. As the crew made their final preparations, Chen couldn't help but smile at the absurdity of it all. They were about to face the most advanced hostile fleet in known space with mining equipment, improvised weapons, and a disco ball. It was exactly the kind of situation humans excelled at. The harvesters were coming to harvest the Lumini. Instead, they were about to learn why humanity had survived every catastrophe, every invasion, every apocalypse that had ever threatened them. When the stakes were highest, Humans didn't just fight. They got creative. The Harvester fleet emerged from quantum space like an armada of metal leviathans, their hulls gleaming with technology so advanced it seemed like magic. 97 capital ships, each one carrying enough firepower to reduce a planet to atoms. Against them stood one human vessel and a scattered field of crystalline beings. They're broadcasting a demand for surrender, Raj announced from his station, in several thousand languages. Send them our response, Chen commanded. Gloria's voice came over the comm, barely containing her excitement. Quantum Disco Inferno is ready, Commander. The Lumini have synchronized their mathematical broadcasts with our frequency modulators. We're going to give these harvesters a dance party they'll never forget. Maya, are our friends ready? Through the crystal interface, Maya received a cascade of mathematical confirmations. They're still not entirely convinced this will work, but they trust us. They say they're ready to dance. Chen took a deep breath, looking at the overwhelming force arrayed against them. Throughout human history, we've faced enemies who thought superior technology meant certain victory. They never understood that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our tools, it's our creativity. Gloria, light up the night. The modified disco ball in the cargo bay began to spin, its facets catching and reflecting light in patterns calculated by both human intuition and Lumini mathematics. The crystalline beings began their part, broadcasting complex quantum equations that seemed to make space itself shiver. The Harvester fleet's first volley of quantum weapons dispersed harmlessly, their carefully calculated energy patterns scattered by the chaotic reflections of the disco ball. Their second volley never came. Their targeting systems were going haywire, unable to lock onto anything through the storm of light and mathematics. They're trying to adapt, Maya reported, reading the patterns. But they can't. Their systems are too perfect, too rigid. They can't handle the random elements we're introducing. The cargo bay disco ball spun faster, its reflected light caught and amplified by thousands of crystalline beings who had learned to trust human insanity. The resulting quantum light show would have put any Earth nightclub to shame, and was playing havoc with the Harvester's advanced sensors. Multiple collisions in their fleet, Raj announced, grinning. Their ships are literally running into each other. Their quantum-locked hulls are. Are they dancing? Through the crystal interface, the Lumini were broadcasting something new. Joy. Pure, mathematical joy at watching the most advanced hostile fleet in known space reduced to chaos by humans with a disco ball. Phase 2, Chen ordered. Gloria, release the miners. Hundreds of modified mining drones shot out from the Hawking's launch bays, each one carrying a crude but effective package. Industrial mining lasers combined with crystalline focusing lenses. The Harvester's quantum defenses, designed to stop weapons that could rewrite reality, had no protocols for dealing with simple focused light amplified by crystalline mathematics. The Lumini are calling it primitive elegance, Maya translated, laughing. They say we're fighting quantum technology with the equivalent of pointed sticks, and it's working. The Harvester fleet was in chaos. Ships designed to navigate through quantum probability fields were spinning helplessly, their sensors overloaded by disco lights and mathematical noise. Mining lasers cut through their advanced hulls with surprising effectiveness, while their own weapons continued to fire randomly into space, unable to lock onto targets through the quantum disco inferno. They're retreating, Raj announced incredulously. The most advanced hostile fleet we've ever encountered is running from mining equipment and a disco ball. Chen watched as the mighty Harvester ships flood into quantum space, their perfect formations shattered, their invincible technology defeated by human improvisation and crystalline cooperation. But she knew this was more than just a victory. It was a beginning. Through the crystal interface, the Lumini were sharing new mathematical concepts, not weapons or defenses, but ideas about cooperation, about combining the elegant complexity of their quantum consciousness with humanity's beautiful chaos. They want to establish a permanent alliance, Maya translated, her eyes shining. Not for protection. They say they've learned that they don't need advanced technology to defend themselves. They want to explore the galaxy with us, to learn our way of thinking, to understand how we turn disadvantages into strengths. Tell them, Chen smiled, that humanity would be honored. After all, the best parties are the ones where different kinds of people come together to dance. As the ESS Hawking floated amid the crystalline structures of their new allies, Chen thought about the message this victory would send across the galaxy. Humanity had announced its presence not with overwhelming force or advanced technology, but with creativity, determination, and a willingness to defend others against impossible odds. The Lumini's mathematical language rippled through the ship, carrying concepts of friendship, gratitude, and anticipation for the future. They had sought help in their darkest hour and found not just defenders, but partners who showed them that true strength comes not from technological advancement, but from the willingness to think differently, to stand up for others, and to face overwhelming odds with nothing but courage, creativity, and perhaps a disco ball. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly how humanity liked it.